Hi Group 4, hope you're okay. So this video is a bit of a pre-learning video for you. So you guys are going to work with me on a live at 12 o'clock. But before that, you're going to watch this video and try and get a bit of the groundwork going yourself. So if you're in Group 4, that means you're comfortable with finding percentages of amounts, and you're comfortable in increasing and decreasing amounts by certain percentages. The next step is what we're going to be looking at today, which is how to find the original price of something, or the original number, after something has been increased or decreased. And that's really complicated because the number you're given is not, you can't simply just multiply it up to 100, or you can't just divide it by 100 to find the 1%. It doesn't work. There's quite a few steps you need to go through. So let's have a little look at that today, just as a bit of an introduction before I work with you. So we've got this basic question here. If you know that 40% of a number, if you know 40% of a number, then explain how you could work out the original number. Well, that's the overview of what we're going to be doing today. So for example, if we had, let's say that 10 was 40% of a number. Let's just say that. So we're going to say that 40%, actually no, let's not say 10, let's say 120. 40% was 120. That is a fact that we know. So the common misconception is that you now divide that by 100 to find 1%, and then multiply it to whatever you need, but that doesn't work. What you need to do is, once you've figured out the amount you have and what percentage it is, okay, you need to divide it by whatever the percentage is. So we know this is 40 over 100. I'm just going to show you the fraction as well. 40 over 100. And basically what we want to do is we want to calculate what 1% is. So what to do that, we need to jump down, just like we would do if we had 10% and we wanted to find 40% or anything like that. We need to work down to a low percentage. So we could find 10% or we could find 1%. It's whatever you want. I'm going to for now just show you 10% because it's a lot easier. So now we can work out 10%. So what do we have to do to get from 40 to 10? Well, we need to divide it by 4. And whatever we do on that side, we have to do the same here. So we have to do 120 divided by 4. Now I know 4 goes into 120, so 4 goes to 12 3 times, 4, 8, 12. So I know that 4 would go into 120 30 times. Just like that. And that gives us 10%, or 10 over 100. And then how could we use that fact to find out what the original number is? Well, remember, the original number would be 100%. That's what the original number would be. So we just have to, again, think, right, what do we need to do to get from 10% to 100%? Well, we times it by 10, don't we? There you go. So we just do the exact same here. So 30 times by 10 is 300. So the original number here would have been 300. If we had 40% of a number, we just kind of made up 120. That's how you'd find the original number. So it's almost like the opposite to what you're doing when you're trying to work out your percentages increasing and decreasing. You have to get yourself to either 10% or 1%. Those are both your options. And then you can go back up to 100%. Let's have a look at another example. So this one is more of the kind of example you might find. So it says, I buy an MP3 music player for £40 in a sale where it was 20% off. Okay, here's another common misconception. So our amount, our part of the whole, is £40. Now what percentage does that represent? Now, a common misconception would be to say it represents 20%, but it doesn't. This is a music player which has been sold for £40 in a sale where it was 20% off, which means that £40 represents 80%, because that's the cost after it's had 20% off. There we go. So that's actually 80%. So now, based on what we did before, we need to get our percentage down to either 1% or 10%. Because this is nice and easy and it's a round whole number in the tens, we can just easily get it down to 10%. What do we need to do to 80 to get it to 10%? We need to divide it by 8. So then we do the same to this side. So if we've got £40, we need to divide that by 8. So how many times does 8 go into 40? Well, we know that is 5 times. So £5 is our 10%. Now you might be able to look at that and go, oh, right, well the original number is £50 then, because I can see that if 10% is £5, then it's add 10% and add another 10%. But just so we're working through the method really methodically, what we would normally say there is, right, we've got 10%, we can multiply that by 10 to get it back to 100%. Here we go. And then we do the same to the other side, which would be 50. There we go. So that's one way we could do it. Okay, we could have also, if you wanted to, divided 80% to 20% by dividing it by 4 and then done 20% times by 5. That would have also got us the right answer. So you see, you take your original and you need to cancel it down to a smaller percentage before building it back up. Let's have a look at another example. Okay, so for this example, if 35% of 70, sorry, if 35% is 70, what is 100%? So same method. So we're going to write what we know first. That's the best method. 35% is equivalent to 70. Okay, now I'm going to show you getting down to 1%. Because this isn't easy to get up to 100% straight away, we're going to break it down a little bit. Now, in the other previous questions, we've gone down to 10%, but this time, because our percentage here is not a multiple of 10, I'm going to break it straight down to 1%. And all you need to do to get anything to 1% is just divide it by itself. So 35 divided by 35 is 1%. And then we need to do the same on this side here, don't we? 70 divided by 35. So there, how many times does 35 go into 70? Well, I know that's twice. So 1% is 2. And then I can use that to get myself straight back up to 100%. There's 100%. So just multiply that by 100. And therefore that's what we need to do. Oh, that's a bit of a dodgy 100, never mind. So we do that exactly the same on the other side. So 100% is 200. Okay? So that's another example of how you can work these questions out. Let's do one more. So Peter works in a shop and he was told to increase the prices by 15%. He increased one price up to £172.50. What was the original price? Okay, so this time it's an increase. So £172.50, or I'm just going to do 172.5 for now, just to get the context out of there, is the equivalent to 115%. 115%. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get that down into something that's much more manageable. All right, so I want to try and see if I can get it to 1%. 1% like that. So I need to divide that by 115. So I need to do the same on the other side as well. So I'm actually going to do this in formal division. Okay, and I'm going to make my answer just 10 times bigger. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I won't do it. I just need to remember to leave that decimal point in there. So 115 goes into 172 once. one full amount. And then how many is left over? Well, this is going to be long division, isn't it? So it was 115, and that left us, it's going to leave us with, can't do 2 take away 5, so we can exchange there. So 12 take away 5 is 7, 6 take away 1 is 5, and 1 take away 1 is 0. So that leaves us with 57. We then bring the remaining unit down. I'm going to put the decimal point there. So how many times does 115 go into 57.5? Well, we're going to consider this like 575 for now. So I'm going to write my multiples. So 230. Add another 115 was 345. Add another 115 would be 460. And another 115 would be 575. Perfect, we can see there that is an exact match. So it goes into this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You notice there that I've remembered to put that decimal place exactly here where it went in the original question so that I get the right amount. So it's 1.5. That is my 1%. There we go. So that looked quite daunting, but actually when we broke it down into long division, it was okay. So we've just done 172 divided by 115, because we did a divided by 115 to get 1% here, so we had to divide it by 115 on this side as well, and that gets us to 1.5. That is the equivalent of 1%. So now comes the easy bit. We're going to multiply this 1% up to 100% by just multiplying it 100. Okay, and we're going to do that exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to multiply 1.5 by 100, which is going to get us to 150. So that was the original price before he increased it to by 15%. So hopefully those examples are going to give you something to start working towards. I am meeting your group at 12 o'clock. So after you've watched this video, have a little go at start trying to work out some of the questions on your group 4 sheet, and then we'll come together at 12 o'clock to look through the answers. Well done guys, thank you very much, see you in a little bit.